lot of people, they say, oh, you're different. A lot of my friends say, oh, you're not like you used to be, or, you're not the same guy. Your ex-wife, your 52-year-old wife living with an 18-year-old boy, if that would have been back in the day, we'd have never seen him again. When you get done with him, Hogan, he'd have spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. And I said, guys, I'm not the same guy. Maybe you don't recognize me, but this is the real me. This is who I am. This is really me. This is what I've been all along. I just didn't know it. I just didn't understand why I was here. I didn't understand why I was put on this earth, but I know now. So that guy you knew before, that wasn't me. This is the real me. If I had to put a title to the second part of my life, the title would be The Real Hulk Hogan, because this is the real me. Everything was a fight for me. I lost my family. Financially, I got destroyed. And everything I ever saved, I lost because of a bunch of situations, Even though the divorce is over, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Mornings aren't what I would like to call normal. There's an agenda when I get up, and it's usually based around lawyers. My son and I have been left alone in the civil lawsuit. My ex-wife is out of it. At my age, at 57 years old, if there's a huge judgment against me and my son for 10 or 20 or 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars is what they originally started talking about, that pretty much will lock my future. Now I'm not a millionaire now, that's for sure. Sometimes I'd wrestle twice on a Saturday and twice on a Sunday because every building was sold out. Flying 300 days a year and sometimes wrestling 350 to 400 times a year. I lived it, man. I did everything. I gave up everything to be a wrestler. When people talk about wrestling being fake, I used to really have a problem with it. When somebody says fake and, then 30 years later, I can't run or I can't walk through the mall or I can't go through a Universal or a Disney with my family or friends, I can't walk through the park and do that anymore. It kind of like makes the hair on my neck stand up because they don't understand, what we've been through. I had several injuries, muscle tears, biceps torn, all the holes in my arms that I never had fixed, and trap muscles torn away from my neck, and delt muscles, and just little beats along the way, which old school mentality didn't stop you from wrestling. Whatever it took to stay awake or go to sleep or keep going, and I did everything. So I gave it all away and to get everything, and vice versa. So I did whatever it took. If I had to play it back again, and I could be just a normal person, you know, and healthy and have that perfect family. I've lived about 3 different lives in this one life, so I wouldn't give it all away. It's amazing that even though I've lost everything else, I still have wrestling. Going in the middle of the ring was the only time where I was really present and I was aware. To get my head right, to get in the ring, physically, it's just ridiculous to even think about. Lacing the boots up is the hardest part. Walking to the ring, climbing in there, trying to move quick or shift, adjust. The pain level is it's a rush, brother. If I don't watch what I'm doing and I take too many liberties, there can be a point where you can't fix things. If a baby in the next room starts choking on a piece of plastic, you stop whatever you're doing and you run and care for that baby. Nothing else in the world matters. That's what happens in this ring. It's not a conscious choice I want to make for no reason. It's not a choice that, okay, I want to get in the ring and get that euphoric high, but to get there, I know what's going to happen. If it meant rounding third base, if it meant a tsunami that would change the tide, if it meant winning, I wouldn't think twice about it. There was a whole period of time where I was someone that I didn't know. And I was doing stuff I'd never done. Bouncing from strip bar to strip bar. Being the last one there when it closed. Drinking and carrying a gun on me. Just running around like a nut. It just was a situation that things I did may not have happened if I would have had someone that, you know, actually touched me and actually said, I loved you. The standard goodnight was F you, and it was very consistent. You walk by somebody who's standing there cooking breakfast and the normal instinct is to reach over and touch them. Hey, good morning, give them a little kiss. Well, get to the point where I knew better than to do that. If I just went out one night with the boys and drank my ass off, it's because I just heard about 4 or 5 FUs over the phone. The outcome was supposed to be retired with my ex-wife Linda in Hawaii and just sitting on the beach drinking wine and throwing the empty beer cans at the kids when they walk by, the teenagers. Get out of my way, you know. And all the money I saved, I dreamed I'd just be on the big island and then flying back to the mainland and see my kids every once in a while. I just thought I had a wife that loved me unconditionally, and I thought that after everything we'd been through, the fights and the traveling and how hard we'd worked, I never dreamed that I would grow old with her. I never dreamed that I would be by myself. The Linda that I knew and I met was fun and, you know, was always the life of the party and Always the first one to get up and dance, always. She was real good at being Mrs. Hogan, real good at building a home and a lifestyle and a type of ambiance, mystique that people thought, oh my gosh, this is the way Hulk Hogan should live. And I made hundreds of millions of dollars, had the perfect family, the perfect situation, but it was unwinding. My ex-wife was unhappy. I don't think she ever was happy. We put on a great front, we had Band-Aids that would come along, such as $1 million checks that would show up in the mail. Then there was my first child that was a huge Band-Aid over the problem of unhappiness, and the second child. And there were a bunch of Band-Aids in the 23 years, but all of a sudden, when you peeled everything back, I just didn't have the right partner.
It was not good when they were together. They were two on top of each other. I think that they both started to see they were growing apart.
I quit working to try to fix my personal situation and save my marriage, so the money was going out at a rapid fire rate, and I was only making a couple $1,000,000 a year at the time, but there were 7, 8, 9, 10 being spent a year. And that's when the financial problems started happening.
Not everybody's perfect, and I think, he's such a sensitive soul. With any guilt that he was feeling or any, sadness or loneliness or anything, everything came down on him at once.
On to another developing story out of the Tampa Bay area this morning. Hulk Hogan's son, Nick, seriously injured in a car accident overnight.
Came upon the accident. I saw the yellow car wrapped around a palm tree. I didn't see Nick anywhere. Started yelling and screaming for him. The back wheel of the car was bent up where his head should be. And I pushed past the cop. Actually had to be very aggressive with him. And I reached in and I pushed the seatbelt, and as everybody grabbed me, he just crawled out from under the steering wheel. I'm not real good sometimes when things hit me and I don't understand why. I got a phone call and my attorney said Linda filed for divorce. That's when it was like a kick to the head from a mule. When I came here, it was tough because everything was gone. When I came home and caved to the back door, there all those dogs rushed up to you. They weren't there. So I went up to Brooks' room. The room was empty. And nothing in the closets, and it was kind of like, whoa, okay. All right, this is different. It didn't really click. And then when I went up to my wife's bathroom, she had a lot of stuff in her closet, and it was completely empty. And when I called everybody's phone, nobody would answer. None of it seemed real. It was like someone else in someone else's situation. I was, out of my mind, and it wasn't good at all. I had 3 really rough days in this house where, I could have killed myself. My friends kept calling me, and I was doing really good. I was kind of like BSing everybody. I wasn't doing well at all. I would just look at the mirror, and my thoughts were, you don't look like you. I switched into that real barbaric mindset of,